Assalamu alaikum, my dear students. I hope all of you are fine and doing well. So the topic here that we are going to discuss today, it is the rules for naming the transition elements. Before this, we must know that how do we be able to name that? The naming of these compounds is basically known as the nomenclature of these elements. So the word here we have the nomenclature. The simple nomenclature mean how do we be able to give the IUPAC naming to all the compounds which are the class of the transition elements, as well as they are making the different types of the complexes, and these complexes are also called as the coordination compounds. That how do we be able to name all these compounds, we will discuss over there. Before that, the naming of the compounds with the transition metals, how do we be able to do this? There is a trend of ionic charge which is going to be increased when we have the transition metals. These charges must vary. They may have the oxidation state from positive 1 to the positive 7. It just depends upon that what type of bond is present and to which type of atom they are going to make the bond. So let's discuss the rules. How do we be able to name these compounds? The first one rule of the naming complexes or the transition metals or transition compounds is simple. First of all, we have to name the cations. They will be named before the anions. And the second rule is this. In naming the coordination sphere, the ligands are named in alphabetically order regardless of the nature and the number of each, followed by the name of the central ion. So the simple mean is this. When we're going to name this coordination sphere, the coordination sphere, it is the square brackets that are containing the central atom as well as the ligands. And in this, the ligand will be named alphabetically if we have the two groups like cyanide, or if we have the group like amino. Then we just name the amino first and then we just name the cyanide, that will be followed by the name of the central metal. After this, we will name that the central metal. Like if we just give the name to these compounds, like we have iron and cyanide, so its name will be ferro cyanide. We have ferro cyano cyanide. Both can be used for this coordination sphere. Now, the third and the fourth rule for naming these complexes or the coordination compounds we have, we will use the prefixes like di, tri, tetra, penta, and hexa. Here, the di will be used for 2, tri will be used for 3, tetra for the 4, penta will be used for the 5, and hexa will be used for the 6. They are being used to specify the number of the coordinated ligands. Likewise, if we have this compound, potassium, iron, cyanide. Now here we have the six cyanide group. So we will take hexacyanide or hexacyano. Both can be used for this, but we have to use these prefixes that will show the total number of coordinated ligands, or that will show its coordination number. The fourth one rule for this we have the names of the anionic ligands end in the suffix O. Like if the hydroxyl group is attached, then we will end its name with the hydroxo. If we have the carbonate, then its name will be ended with the carbonato. It will be ends with the suffix O. So a lot of groups are being attached. Likewise, here we have cyanide. This is also an ionic ligand. So we will end that group with the cyano. So here the suffix O will be ended with the name of the ligand or with the coordination sphere. After this, we have the fifth and the sixth one rule for naming the complexes. The names of the neutral ligands, if there is a ligand which is having no charge or which has not positive, not negative charge, they are usually uncharged. For example, here we have ammonia, amine, and for water, we will use the aqua, and for CO group, we use carbonyl, and carbonyl group will be written as C double bond O. Then the suffix "ate" that comes at the end of the name of the metal. Like if there is an iron, then the word we will use the ferrate. So the suffix "ate" is coming at the last of the complex name, that is just representing that this is a metal, and it will represent that it's an anion. So this is a simple 6-1 rule, that how do we be able to name the metal if it is an anion, and how do we be able to name the ligand which are being uncharged, they are carrying no charge. If we have ammonia, then it will be named as amine. If we have the water, then it will be named as aqua. Now the last one rule for the naming of the complex compounds, we have the oxidation number of the metal ion is represented by a Roman numeral in parentheses, mean in brackets, following the name of the metals. It means after the metals we have to show the oxidation number of the metal ion, which it will be represented in the parentheses. Like if we are having the iron in this compound, we have K4, iron and cyanide. So here the iron possesses the oxidation state +2, so its oxidation number will be written as 2 in the brackets before the name of the metal atom. So this is a simple rule for naming the complex compounds. So this was the rule. Now we will discuss different examples, that how do we be able to name these compounds. So first one, we have the potassium iron cyanide. So the first one name will be to the counter ion, which is potassium. Then we will use hexacyano. Hexa, this is the prefixes which is being used for the 6 cyanide group, and it ends at O, means it is an anionic ligand. And ferrate, this is the metal atom, it will ends at 8, and this is the 2 which just shows the oxidation state of the central metal atom. And the second example for this, we have platinum, chlorine, nitro dioxide, and ammonia and sulfate. So it, how do we be able to name? First one, we will name the ligand, which is the tetraamine. Tetraamine, tetra mean the 4 amine groups are being attached. Chloro nitro. Why we just name that tetra chloro nitro, tetramine chloro nitro? Because A is alphabetically is coming first, then C for the chloro, and then N for the nitro. At the end, we name the central atom, which is the platinum, and then we will name the oxidation state of the platinum is 4 in the Roman, and it must be written in the parentheses, and at the end the sulfate. So here, this is a simple way to name the complex compounds. And the last one example, we have cobalt, nitrogen dioxide group, the nitro group 3, and the amino group 3. So we will name it as triamine. Amine group will comes first, and then there is a tri nitro cobalt, and the oxidation state of cobalt here 3, so it will be written as common and in the Roman counting and in the parentheses. So this was a simple topic that we have discussed today, that how do we be able to name the complex compounds or the coordination compounds. I hope you guys understand, and if you have any queries, you may ask me about that in the comment section, and I will get back to you guys soon. The next topic that we will discuss, it is the geometry of the complexes. For that time, you guys keep learning and have a good day.